Have you ever noticed how the Christmas and holiday season just naturally pulls us towards reflection and reflecting on where we've been? All of those end of year moments with family and friends just seem to spark thoughts of how far we've come or, how long it's been since we've seen each other. But what if this season could be more than just casual reflection? Maybe the moments that made you stronger, that the challenges that you overcame, the quiet wins that shaped who you are today. What if it could be a time to truly celebrate your growth and, look at those gifts and superpowers that you've discovered within yourself over the last year? Well, my name is Jake Talbert. I'm the founder and author of a book that's called The GIVER Method that you can actually get on Amazon. It's been out for 13 days now at the time of this recording. It's already topping multiple bestseller lists. I'll have a link in the description that you can go get it. Everything we're going to talk about today is going to be grounded inside of the principles from the GIVER Method book. And also, keep an eye out. We're going to be having a companion course that goes along with that here soon. Now, today, we're going to be diving into the magic of gratitude, especially like holiday gratitude. How you reflect on the year and celebrate your growth. The discovery of the superpowers and that you have, how they've blossomed. This isn't just about saying thank you or feeling good. It's about deeply understanding the impact you've made and the person that you're becoming. Now, before we dive in, if you are new here, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring that bell for notifications. We don't want you to miss out on any of the tips, ideas, conversations that we have that help you to unleash your gifts and create more meaningful impact in your sphere of influence. Now, I also recommend you go find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all those places, and go to thegivermethod.com, get on the newsletter list. Once again, go to Amazon, get yourself access to the GIVER Method book, but get on our newsletter list so that we can continue to nurture you over time about these ideas of how you can make that greater impact. Now, I'm going to talk and reference a lot about stuff within the GIVER Method book, and you may not have read it yet, and if not, that's okay. I encourage you to, but it's okay. So let's give you a quick rundown, if you are new, what the GIVER Method is all about. So GIVER's an acronym, and the letters, when they're broken down, essentially what they're trying to do is help you to discover and develop your unique gifts and superpowers so that you can create value for those who are in your sphere of influence, and that you can make every engagement, interaction, discussion with them as effective and eager and intentional as possible so that you can build more meaningful relationships, or what I call relationship riches, so that you can step into who it is that you're meant to be. And what I found is that when people develop their gifts and superpowers, and they give them without expecting anything in return, that the universe always has a way of paying you back. And so I want to invite you, especially here in the holiday season, to invite the universe to pay you back by discovering, developing gifts and superpowers and utilizing them more. And one of the ways that we do that a lot is through reflection and looking at the gratitude moments that we should have. And now, here's the really exciting part. Holiday season is the perfect time to apply those principles. The spirit, of reflection and connection is all around us, and it sets a stage for celebrating who you are and what you're bringing to the world. So I'm going to go through different principles, ideas around this that I've come up with. And as I do, I'm going to talk about what it is, how you use it, what it looks like in the day-to-day world. And I'm going to give you action items. At the very end, I'm even going to talk through like an implementation guide. If I could create like a ebook or something, it's going to be whatever it be at the end, about how you can then implement these ideas into daily routines, especially here in the holidays, so you can get the most out of it. So with that, let's explore these kind of practices and principles for celebrating your growth and expressing gratitude, during the Christmas and holiday season. And so the first one that I want to dive into is that you want to start by creating what I call a Superpower Inventory Journal. Keeping this type of an inventory journal is a powerful way for you to track your growth and acknowledge the gifts and superpowers that have surfaced and strengthened throughout the year. Now, it's better if you keep it throughout the year, but go ahead and get yourself started one now and reflect back on the year, and then moving forward, continue to add to it. You think of it as a living document, a mirror that just reflects the times that you've stepped into your unique abilities, whether it's a knack for bringing calm into the chaos, or creating solutions to complex problems, or fostering meaningful conversations. These moments are worth celebrating. And so journaling isn't just about recording any sort of event. I know it's not. I treat it like a conversation, and it's a chance to dive in deeper and have a conversation about the events that shaped you. And writing, what I found, it helps you to uncover patterns in how you use your gifts and superpowers and moments that you might have overlooked. So this holiday season, transform journaling into a practice where you're really looking at this from self-awareness and appreciation for where you've been. And so you just look for the time, dedicate time in the evening that you reflect on your day, and you ask yourself different questions. I wrote down a couple, so hopefully these are helpful. Like, when did you feel the most proud or connected to your abilities? Or, what did I do today that made someone else's life better or easier? And you just use the journal to collect these stories of growth and include moments where maybe you learned something new about yourself, even through challenges. Maybe there was a setback that you had to find a way to move past. And then take it further by incorporating, small mementos, in your journal. Ticket stubs, photos, notes, tangible items of, to remind you of the experiences that defined your growth. I mean, gosh, if you're anything like a lot of people, you're going to want to decorate it, give it, make it you, make it be as much you as possible. Something that's just going to uplift you and reflect who you are inside. And so just simple way to break down the action items there is reserving, let's just say 15 minutes of every evening to jot down, specific instances where you used your gifts. We're talking about 1% of your day is what I'm asking you to commit to. 1%. Now, you list 3 recurring ways that superpowers have shown up throughout the year, and then personalize the journal to be you, decorate it so that it brings you joy every time that you go to revisit it. Now, the second one is that you want to write a growth gratitude letter to yourself. Now, I know that a lot through different programs and recovery things and stuff that's out there, that there's this idea of writing letters and the value and power that comes from that. Writing a gratitude letter to yourself is this practice of self-recognition and kindness, and it's this opportunity to really reflect on your journey and acknowledge your progress and thank yourself for the effort that you've put into becoming who you are today. Like, we often reserve gratitude for others, but turning gratitude inward allows you to embrace self-compassion and celebrate your personal victories. I mean, I'm never going to say don't express gratitude to others out there, but we have to be grateful for who we are and what we've become. And so this letter serves as a time capsule or a tangible way to capture the lessons, growth, or maybe some resilience that you've built or shown throughout the year. And when you revisit this sort of a letter in the future, you're going to see not just how far you've come, but also how strong you were in the moments that maybe you had forgotten. And that usually helps to push you through if you've got challenges in the future. And so you look for those, all of this is about reflection. So setting aside quiet time to reflect on, maybe a couple different areas of growth, 2 to 3 key areas of growth. Like, think about the challenges you've overcome, maybe the skills that you've developed, and the relationships that you've deepened. So that would be 3. Write it out as if you were speaking to a trusted friend or a family member. Like, be encouraging, be kind, and be honest. Be sincere and authentic in what you're writing. Consider the structure of the letter with gratitude for the past, and acknowledging the where we are in the present and your hope for the future. This could look like, I wrote out a small example that I'll read. So, hey, thank you for sticking with that goal, even though it felt impossible. Look how far you've come. And then always seal that letter in an envelope and store it somewhere meaningful, like your holiday decoration box or whatever, and come back and review it. And so think about it that way. What are those action item wise? It's like, write down those 3 areas you've experienced growth this year. Write that heartfelt letter celebrating those, what you've learned, how you've grown, your perseverance, and then seal that letter and set a reminder to open it next year as a part of your holiday traditions. Now, our third one is about reflecting on, the ripple effect of our actions. Now, it's often said, and I talk about it a lot in the book, and as I do a lot of these videos, that the ripple effect, you probably aren't ever going to actually know how far out your ripples go. But it's a good time to reflect on what actions or what ripples you can see from your actions, because every action you take, it's going to create this ripple. The waves of impact that just extend beyond that immediate moment. And as you reflect on these ripples, it's going to help you to recognize how your gifts have touched others, whether maybe it was advice that you gave to a friend, that helped them to find clarity, or maybe there was some sort of a gesture that you did that lifted someone's spirits. Like, these type of moments, they hold so much value for people, and that they hold on to that over time. So acknowledging that there is a ripple effect of your actions, you're not seeking validation. Like, it's about understanding the influence of your superpowers on just everyday life. This reflection can motivate you to continue using your gifts with intention and care. When I look at how the things that I'm being intentional about and trying to do, using my gifts and superpowers, when I see them show up in my boys, I see that then they start to act or do things a certain way. I know that that's the first ripple, but then whoever they come in contact with over time, it's going to continue to ripple out from there and continue out from there. And that just brings me so much excitement to see their growth, but knowing that that's happening all over the place, utilizing your gifts and superpowers. What excites me so much about having the Giver Method book out there and why I push so many people to get it, I have zero care about the number of books sold, because you don't make money off selling books. What I care most about is how do I get it into as many hands as possible, even if I'm buying copies and giving copies to people, or we discount it, which is lower right now because we just launched it. How do we get it into as many people's hands as possible so that we can, see this ripple effect happen as much as possible? And so getting back on this, where you're looking at your ripple effect, like spend time thinking about the moments when your efforts positively affected others, where there are instances when someone thanked you unexpectedly, or when you saw your idea come to life through someone else, and create lists of these events and write, about how they made you feel. You can also share one of these ripple moments in maybe a Christmas card, or during some sort of conversation coming up as we get closer to the holidays. Expressing gratitude for opportunity to make a difference, like that deepens the connection between you and the person that it impacted. And so real quick, find those 3 moments in the year when your actions created that ripple. Write that short reflection of each moment, focusing on what you learned, and share that ripple story with somebody, and show gratitude and work towards strengthening the bond that you have with them. Now, the fourth one is host, I don't know what to call it other than like a superpower story session, like storytelling session, like gather, like as you're gathering with loved ones coming up, one things that you could do, set aside time for this I'm just going to call it Superpower Storytelling Session, and use it as a creative way to celebrate growth together. And by sharing stories of times when you felt most aligned with your gifts and superpowers, you inspire not only yourself but those around you to recognize and embrace their own strengths. So this sort of a practice is going to help you, to create this connection. It encourages vulnerability and deepens the sense of gratitude for unique abilities within your family circle. The collective storytelling creates an atmosphere of celebration and appreciation. And so you can invite friends or family, whatever that gathering is that you have coming up, and create this relaxed and, warm setting. It could be, in your home, it could be outside by the fire, maybe it's, with cozy blankets and warm drinks and holiday music, whatever that takes for you. And then just start with some sort of a prompt, like, what's one thing that you're proud of from this year? Or when did you feel like your most true self and the most alive throughout this year? And encourage everyone to take a turn sharing. And you have to use active listening here and then reflect back on what you hear. For example, it's amazing how you used your gift for empathy in that situation. It must have meant so much to them. Like give that reflection, that feedback, so that it impacts them in that sort of a way. And then document those stories, write them down in a journal or record audio about them, and come back and revisit them in the future. It helps to push this gratitude and also development along. Now, our next one is going to be to create, I've got at home a Lego advent calendar where every day we open a Lego. There's, a Star Wars ones, clearly, because I'm a Star Wars nerd. And then there's, all sorts of those out there, different advent calendars with candies or toys, prizes, things like that. Well, go create a gratitude advent calendar. Use it as a way to transform this sort of a holiday tradition, like into an activity with meaning, like a meaningful practice of daily reflection. By writing one thing you're grateful about each day leading up to Christmas, you create a cumulative reminder of the good in your life. This activity is going to focus your attention on the positivity, and it helps you develop a habit of mindfulness. And over time, small moments of gratitude build a foundation of appreciation that carries throughout the year. You can even share those on social media. I love, especially, right around Thanksgiving, this happens a lot, or as we get closer to Christmas, people start to share those things that they're grateful for, and just being open and honest and vulnerable and authentic. And I love seeing those types of posts. So what you could do with this is, gathering small cards or sticky notes or, envelopes, labeling them each day of December, and then write one gratitude note daily, focusing on those personal milestones or relationships or small joys. Display those notes, in your kitchen. Put them on the fridge where everyone can see them. Put them, near the Christmas tree. Put them on a string and, string them across, an entryway or whatever. Have a jar that represents gratitude and have people continue to put it in there. Like, just consider all the ways that you can involve your friends and family, and by sharing gratitude notes during any sort of a gathering, and it just adds up into the communal aspect of reflection together. Now, our next one is one of the ways that you could really show gratitude and the growth. Like, it actually is a little bit different. Volunteering in, an area that's connected to your gifts. Like, volunteering during the holidays aligns your gifts with meaningful action. And when you contribute your unique abilities to a cause, you really do amplify the impact and deepen your understanding of their value, whether it's mentoring, organizing, teaching, giving back in a way that resonates with your strengths. Is just going to enhance your connection to the community and reinforce the importance of using your gifts to serve others. It also helps you get a great reminder of all the good that you have in your life. And so identify whatever that cause or event that aligns with what you're looking for. If you excel at, things like if you excel at planning, consider, helping to plan some sort of an event, or local charity. Like, if you're really good at teaching, then mentor or tutor someone during the season. Like, just whatever that looks like, reflect on it afterward on how these experiences felt. Did it reinforce your connection with your gifts? Did it inspire you in new ways to apply them? And then, of course, with reflection, there's also the thinking ahead and what we want to become. Where are we headed? Because we're stepping into who it is that we're meant to be, but how do we continue to evolve that over time? Because who we are today is not necessarily who we need to be in the future. And so the next one is all about creating your Superpower Vision Board for 2025. And a Superpower Vision Board is this creative way to set intentions for the future. It helps you focus on how you can continue to develop your gifts and superpowers, using them to create meaningful impact. And so this sort of a board, it's going to serve as that visual reminder of your goals and aspirations and help you be more intentional. And by revisiting it throughout the year, you just stay connected to your purpose and the motivation of the actions that you're taking. And so, like any vision board, you're going to gather yourself, get magazines, photos, markers, pens, whatever it looks like, and choose images, words, or symbols that represent your goals for developing your gifts and superpowers and the impact that you want to create throughout 2025. Arrange them on the board in a way that feels inspiring to you, and then display your vision board somewhere that you see daily. Could be a workspace, it could be your bedroom, it could be bathroom mirror, and just use it as that guidepost to check in on the progress you have throughout the year. And then you may want to have like a weekly, monthly reflection where you kind of look back on your progress and maybe adjust your goals as needed. Now, told you that, if I could write a book, an ebook or whatever on like an implementation guide for, holiday gratitude practice, this would be that point. And so here are some different things that you can go and do. Once again, set aside gratitude time each day, create space for those daily reflections. It's going to be the foundation for any gratitude practice, dedicating 15 minutes a day where you can develop a habit of self-awareness and appreciation, and you use it to think about the times when you felt aligned with your gifts or an achievement of something meaningful, no matter how small it may be. And then reflection, isn't about the big wins. Once again, the small victories that build up over time. The key is consistency and making this just part of a daily ritual, a mindset of gratitude and mindfulness that you start to have. Create physical reminder for growth. The tangible representation of your progress just helps anchor your reflections into reality, whether that's a journal, that gratitude jar, photo collection. Like, these items become touchstones that remind you of your journey. Decorate these reminders, make sure that you have them in a place where you can see them on a regular basis. Share your reflections with others. Gratitude grows when it's shared, and it becomes contagious. So talking about your reflections with friends and family can really deepen a connection and inspire others to reflect on their growth and their gratitude they have around that. These conversations don't have to be formal, of course. Like, just make it a casual chat. It could be over hot chocolate or coffee, or some sort of a moment during the holiday gathering that you're looking to do. Like, any one of those could be more than enough of what you need. And it's just about being intentional with it, expressing gratitude directly to the people who have been part of the journey not only strengthens your bond, but gives you clearer perspective on the impact of your relationships. Now, there are different challenges that people come in contact with when it comes to this. And so I'm going to review through a couple just real quick, challenges and barriers that are in the way. And so, overcoming barriers of like gratitude reflection, like, feeling like you haven't grown enough. It's easy to feel that your progress isn't significant. This mindset, like it will discourage you from reflecting on your journey altogether. So remember, growth is rarely dramatic. There are no overnight successes. It often happens small, consistent steps. Reflect on the simple moments where you felt proud, you learned something, you overcame a minor obstacle, and write down those small victories. It could be helping a friend. It could be completing some sort of personal project. Over time, these small moments add up to a larger story of progress. Sometimes people struggle to recognize what their impact is. They undervalue their contributions because they just don't see immediate effects of their actions. They think to themselves, did that really help? Did it matter? Did this gesture matter to anyone? Well, cool. Seek feedback. Reach out to friends and family. Ask them how maybe you've made a difference in their lives. Their insights reveal what that ripple effect looks like. Honestly, if you start by, reaching out to them and telling them about the difference that they've made for you, and then asking for this is usually best, because then you're giving them the gratitude first before they then give this back to you. Of course, there's a challenge of feeling overwhelmed by any sort of a process. So just once again, start small. Instead of aiming for this comprehensive journal entry or elaborate gratitude project, focus on quick and manageable steps. Gradually build on that foundation as it becomes a habit for you. Comparing your journey to others is one of the other ones that I see. Comparison is one of the biggest roadblocks of gratitude and growth. Remember that your journey is unique, and focus on your own progress rather than measuring it against someone else's. And then celebrate those personal milestones, no matter how small, and remind yourself of, that growth looks different for every person. And as you dedicate time to gratitude, you create these tangible reminders of growth, and you share your reflections with others. You not only deepen your appreciation, for the year, but also create meaningful foundation for the year ahead. Embracing these sort of practices allows you to see how far you've come and recognize the value of your unique gifts and superpowers, and carry that mindset of gratitude into all areas of your life. Now, if you're ready to deepen, this idea of the reflections of what you could do and the growth, and you want to grow more as we go into the next year, then I'm going to recommend that you go to thegivermethod.com and get on our newsletter list so that we can let you know about, tips, insights, ideas, things like that. Go to Amazon, use the link in the description, and go to Amazon, get a copy of the Giver Method book, and be able to utilize that as a part of that growth. If this video resonated with you in any sort of way, give it a thumbs up. Maybe share it with someone who may need to hear that message. In the comments, I'd love if you tell us about maybe one way that you've grown this year, because your story might inspire someone else's reflection. Remember that the holiday season isn't just about the giving of presents and getting together. It's about recognizing, the present of who you've become and the gifts that you share with the world. And so until next time, I'll just invite you to keep growing, keep giving, and remember, gratitude turns what we have into enough, and not always feeling like we need more. And so with that, I hope that you have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you in our next video.